The abyss doesn't just hide its monsters. It dresses them in diamonds. At 4,000 meters below the surface, the darkness isn't empty, it's hungry. In a world where every calorie is a miracle and every movement is a risk, evolution has perfected the ultimate deception, the lure. You see a flickering light, a dancing star in the crushing black, a promise of life. But by the time you realize it's a trap, you aren't the hunter anymore. You're the fuel. This is the art of the deep-sea mimicry, where beauty is the last thing you will ever see. The pressure at these depths is enough to crush a titanium hull. Yet life here is delicate, translucent, and horrifyingly patient. Consider the anglerfish, the undisputed icon of the trench. It doesn't chase. It waits. Its spine has been hijacked by evolution, transformed into a fishing rod tipped with a glowing orb of symbiotic bacteria. To a starving creature in the void, that light is everything. It is a beacon of hope that leads directly into a cage of needle-like teeth. But the angler is a primitive thief compared to the Siphonophores. These are not single animals, but massive, drifting colonies of specialized clones, stretching up to 50 meters long. They're the ghost trains of the abyss. Some species within these colonies have evolved stinging tentacles that glow with a specific red light, a color most deep-sea creatures can't even see, except for the tiny shrimp they hunt. The prey swims toward what looks like a harmless curiosity, only to be ensnared in a web of neurotoxic fire. Then, there's the most unsettling mimic of all, the sea snow. To the uninitiated, it looks like a peaceful underwater blizzard, organic detritus drifting down from the world above. But certain predatory jellyfish have learned to pulse their bodies in a way that mimics this drift. They hide in plain sight, blending into the very food supply of the deep. They aren't just predators. They are part of the environment itself. In the deep, light is a language, but it's a language of lies. Most bioluminescence is used to find a mate or scare a foe. But for the masters of mimicry, it is a tool of psychological warfare. There is a specific type of squid that can manipulate its own photophores to match the faint moonlight filtering down from miles above. It becomes invisible from below, a literal hole in the ocean. It haunts the mid-water column like a phantom, waiting for something to look up and see nothing until it's too late. We often think of the ocean floor as a wasteland, a graveyard of sunken ships and ancient bones. But it is a theater of high-stakes performance art. Every flicker, every shimmer, and every rhythmic pulse is a calculated move in a game where the loser is digested. The creatures here have abandoned the need for speed or strength. They have traded everything for the ability to deceive. Imagine being suspended in that infinite, freezing blackness. Your senses are failing. Your internal compass is spinning. And then you see it, a soft, rhythmic glow. It's hypnotic. It's warm. It feels like safety. You swim closer, desperate for any sign of life in this desert of salt and silence. You reach out, and the darkness bites back. This is not a failure of biology. This is the perfection of it. In the dark nature of the abyss, the most dangerous thing you can find is a light in the window. Because down here, no one is home, except the hunger. The deep sea is not merely a place. It is a sentient pressure cooker where the very concept of survival is rewritten in the language of the grotesque. When we descend past the midnight zone, we enter a realm of biological architecture that defies every law of the sunlit world. Think of the Black Dragonfish, a nightmare sculpted from obsidian. It possesses teeth so transparent they don't reflect the bioluminescent flashes of its prey. It is a literal ghost, an invisible predator that appears only when its jaws are already closing around your throat. But its most terrifying adaptation isn't its teeth. It's the way it hunts using red light, a night vision frequency that no other creature in the abyss can perceive. It illuminates its victims like a spotlight in a dark room, while remaining completely shrouded in the shadows. To be hunted by a dragonfish is to be watched by an invisible god. Then there are the Siphonophores, massive, drifting colonies that act as a single, multi-headed hydra. Some of these organisms grow longer than a blue whale, weaving a web of stinging, glowing polyps that span the void like a minefield made of neon silk. They don't move. They drift, waiting for the currents to push a desperate scavenger into their electrified embrace. Once touched, the neurotoxins liquefy the prey from the inside out, turning a living creature into a soup of nutrients before it even realizes it's been caught. This is the cruelty of the deep. It doesn't just kill you, it erases your form. And what do the seas know? That gentle, rhythmic falling of organic debris, skin, scales, and waste from the surface. In the dark, this is the only manna from heaven. But certain species of predatory jellies, like the Calabanema, have learned to pulse their bodies in a way that mimics this drift. They don't look like hunters, they look like food. They lure the starving closer with the promise of a meal, only to reveal themselves as the ultimate consumer. It is a psychological trap etched into the DNA of the abyss. As you descend further into the hadal trenches, the deception turns inward. Here, the barrel-eye fish stares through its own transparent forehead, its tubular green eyes scanning for the silhouettes of jellies above. It steals the light from others, a cosmic thief in a world of absolute poverty. Everything here is a trade-off. You give up your bones for jelly. You give up your sight for vibration. You give up your soul for one more hour of life. In the end, the abyss teaches us a singular, chilling lesson. Light is not hope. In our world, we run toward the light to find safety, to find home, to find the truth. But in the dark nature of the deep, the light is a liar. It is a mask worn by the void to hide the teeth behind it. Imagine yourself drifting in that soundless, freezing expanse. Your air is thin, your spirit is broken, and the crushing weight of 5 miles of water is pressing against your chest. Suddenly, a soft, ethereal blue shimmer appears in the distance. It's beautiful. It's rhythmic like a heartbeat. You feel a pull, not just physical, but primal. You swim toward it, desperate for a sign that you aren't alone in this infinite grave. But as the glow grows brighter, you don't see a face. You don't see a savior. You see the reflection of your own fear in 1,000 obsidian eyes. The light wasn't a beacon. It was a funeral candle. The ocean doesn't hate you. It doesn't even know you're there. It simply waits for you to make the mistake of believing in the beauty of the dark. Down here, the silence is eternal, the pressure is absolute, and the only thing more certain than the cold is the fact that something, somewhere in the black, is watching your every move, waiting for you to follow the light into the jaws of the deep. Welcome to the bottom of the world. Stay a while. The abyss has plenty of room for one more ghost.